Hey guys, and welcome to AQProps. I'm Ali, and today I'm going to be taking you through an introduction to Pepakura Designer. Now, Pepakura Designer is a program used to turn 3D models into laying out onto A4 pieces of paper so you can create the 3D models as a prop. So it varies from helmets to weapons from games to pretty much anything you can think of. There's probably someone out there who's modeled it in a 3D sense that you can then try and build yourself as a prop. So today I'm going to be walking you through different checklists that you'll need to do before you print this stuff out. Now, this is designed to help you make everything easier for when you decide to print it out and try and build them. I've been doing this for a while now, so I've got my own little mental checklist that I go through before I even start. So here's what the program looks like. You download it from Tamsoft's site. The link is in the description, guys. And once you've downloaded this, you can open up Pepakura Designer files. Now, most of these are completely free to find. Some of them may require an unlock code from the designer, because some of the designers like to keep it to themselves. That's just that they've put quite a lot of time and effort into them, so if it's something specific, please ask them before you download it. So guys, the main sites that you can download them from, I would say, are the 405th.com, which are guys that specialise in Halo armour, but they do tend to transfer between other things as well. They have quite a wide variety of people talking on their forums, so there's probably someone there who's trying to make the same thing you are. So if you go and chat to them, they might be able to help you, give you tips and tricks as well. There's also the RPF forums, or AQProps forums. Now they have a really wide variety of people building different things left, right and centre, so then again they might be able to help you. So today we're going to run through Master Chief Helmet, all the things you'd need to tick off before you printed it out. So let's have a look at the file. So, Halo 1 Master Chief Helmet. Now, here's the 3D model on the left-hand side. Looks quite good, and that's ideally what yours should end up looking like. But well, it's not a perfect world, so you'll get probably very close. And on the right-hand side, that is the layout of that model on pieces of paper. Now, the main thing to check, first thing, is that paper the same as the paper that's going to be in your printer. Now, myself, normal human being, I would say, I use an A4 printer, but they seem to have letter paper, which is a funny one. So if you go to print and paper settings, see, letter. Now apparently it's wider than A4, but I have an A4 printer, so I will put A4. Now if you click OK, it is going to move these around a bit on the left, so you can click and highlight these, and you can drag them back into the piece of paper so they line up perfectly there. Now guys, the main thing about Pepakura is the folds. There are two folds. There is a mountain fold and there is a valley fold. Now they both come up if you go into, no, that's texture settings. If you go into other settings, it shows you here, it says mountain fold and valley fold. Now guys, if you want to change this, there is a simple way to change it so it doesn't have to be a dot or a dot then a dash. Now if you click, say if I wanted a valley fold line, if I wanted that to be a solid one, if I click solid there and then OK, now the next thing to do is if you right click anywhere over, as long as it's on the paper, and then go to edge color. Now here's something I've just worked out myself, and if you untick mountain and cut line, and if you want, say, the valley folds to be red, if you make sure that's selected, now if you click and drag from left to right, it's going to highlight all the different valley folds that are on the piece of paper. Now if you click them, now if we zoom in, you can see all the valley folds are now in red. Now that guys might be an easier way if you're trying to tell the difference between a mountain fold and a valley fold. Some creators might tell you to use pens, but this is a way the printer can do it for you, saving you having to go and mark out every single bit. Okay, so next thing to do will be your scaling. So if you go to recalculate parts layout in the 2D menu, it'll come up with, you can auto adjust to fit the sheet, or you can manually adjust, which will be your sizes. So you've got your height, width and your depth. Now I tend to go for height. Now I know my head, from my chin to the top of my head, is 28 centimeters, so I tend to go between 30 and 31 centimeters, maybe 32 at a push. Now this, I'm not trying to make the helmet massive, I'm physically trying to make the helmet so it will fit on without tearing my ears off. Guys, it really does hurt when you try and put a helmet on that is really snug on your ears. Like I have a Mark V helmet, a bit like this one. I call it my caboose helmet. If you haven't watched Red vs Blue, go and watch it. And when I try and put it on, I have to tape my ears to like the back of my head because otherwise it rips my ears off. But again, I'm getting sidetracked here. So that's your height one. So if you change that to say 310, now this is in millimeters, remember guys, so you need to add the 0 on the end. So if we do OK, and it gets absolutely spread out all over the place. So if you were wanting to minimize the paper, you can click and drag and try and tidy everything up, you know, try and move that bit to there, you know, just try and minimize as much as you need. Now the next one is, if you go back to your 2D menu, make sure show flaps is on, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to print something off and the flaps haven't been there. So I'm going, okay, I'll put a flap on this side and then forget to not put a flap on another side. The best thing to do is just have the show flaps. They're all made there to make it easier for you. And show edge ID. Now edge ID is one of the most important things, I would say, because then you know exactly what part is when to meet with another part. So we're going to zoom in on the right hand side and we're going to zoom in on this piece. Right, this piece here. Now you can see the numbers here, probably not very well, but here we go. It's 152 and 174, so you know that the 152 with a flap will sit there and the 174 with a flap will sit there. Okay, and let's see, you also need to check that your printer, if you go to printer setup, that it's portrait, and that's the same in your printer and paper settings. Portrait, yep, double check that all. Other thing to check is make sure it's all inside the margins. It might come up with, do you want to adjust the scale when you go to print it? Other thing you can do is you can change again that back to a dot straight off the bat. And then if you just go back to your colors, edge color, and I just want to make it black again, I can do that quite easily. Blam, that's them all back to normal. So guys, I think that's everything that covers Pepakura. You can use check overlapping parts to make sure none of the parts are touching each other, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Can't think of anything else that needs to be explained, guys. This would probably be as much preparation you need before you print it out. So now that I've given the introduction to Pepakura, I'm going to be doing 3 to 4 helmets. I haven't decided exactly, but I'm going to be doing the evolution of Master Chief. So I'm going to start with this model in front of us. So I'm going to print that out, and I'll do that in one big video, having like pictures in between of how it comes along. And at the end I will show you what the finished product looks like. Now it might take a little bit of time, but in the end I will also do a little updates in between about scoring, getting perfect folds and other little bits. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe for updates on it, and I hope you have a good day and enjoy building.